Hi, this is Kim Pinkney, and welcome to my channel. Now, I'm hoping that you can hear me over the music. If you can't, just give me a holler and let me know in the comments that you can't hear me, and then I'll just frickin' just turn it off altogether. I just won't even bother with music anymore. So, what I'm going to go ahead and start off with is showing you how I got to this point. I am doing a 10-day challenge, but this is also a commission. So the 10-day challenge was to draw 10 items and then one every day, I guess, and then to nominate a person each day. But I'm like, I'm a rebel. I don't do that crap. And I was resistant from the get-go. And so since I was kind of like resentful of being nominated for this challenge, even though it is kind of like an honor, I decided that since the friend that nominated me is a DC fan, superhero fan, I decided I was going to make my 10 pictures just pictures of like superheroes and villains for the next 10 images, I guess, that I do for each day. But I, want to take a little bit more time on each day. But this one here is, since this seemed to fall into the bracket of superhero, I am been commissioned to draw Iron Man. So I had started this one for my day 4, and the client wanted the client's book and her 2 cats in the picture. At first I thought she was going to be in there, but I was like, I'm not sure where I'm going to put her in. And then I found out I didn't need to put her in. So I'm like, all right. Okay, so that made things a little easier. Now I was going to do Iron Man in a seated position where he's reading a book, and I decided I was going to leave out his legs because cutting it off at the bottom was just not going to look right. So I decided to just focus on the most important things. That way I can make this a good size picture. So what I thought was the most important was the title of the book and her name, Iron Man, and it had to be a specific Iron Man suit. I think it was like from the second. I can't remember. I'm not a big Iron Man fan. I like the first movie, but I don't know. I just haven't been keeping up with any of the superhero movies like I should have been. Naughty Kim. But anyway, it was a specific Iron Man suit, and you could see by the hands that I could not get a really good grasp of what the hands look like, so I just kind of winged it. I don't like that I had to do that because I wanted to stay as accurate as possible, but that's where I am on that. And then I try to make it look a little bit more mechanical. Now, the last thing I need to do on this is put the hand on the other side, and then I can start coloring. And one of the kitty cats, like the one on the shoulder, has passed away. So, and it's supposed to be missing an ear. So I figure, okay, how about Stark rebuild this cat? So maybe this is like Blackie 1.0. And if Blackie goes out with him on missions or whatever, maybe Blackie gets exploded, sacrificing itself, and then maybe we're on Blackie number 3 or 4, 4.0, 4.5 or whatnot. So anyway, and I think this is a fan book, fan fiction, Iron Man fan fiction that she's written or is in the process of writing. So I think this would be a great inspiration to keep her going. And if she doesn't finish, at least she had the t-shirt. Been there, done that, wrote the book. Okay, so almost there at the end, and where the cat is, that was where the knee was going to be. And then I'm like, but I thought it was kind of thrown off, so I'm going to kind of square it off by putting his hand, or rather his arm, right here. So I was thinking of copying this arm and bringing it over, and I wouldn't need too much of it. Let me try doing that and see if that'll work. Let's see. That's with the other. Let me grab that. Let me duplicate this. And I'm going to flip it horizontal. And just see if I can get away with putting part of that arm in there. So I want the cat kind of hanging off the shoulder. Or rather hanging off of the elbow. So part of the elbow is going to get cut off. Okay, looks weird. I could, this is just for the sake of time. I didn't want to have to redraw the entire wheel again. Yeah, I don't usually do mechanical. I'm usually a big face person. There we go. Portraits and whatnot. But, you know, soft spot for kitty cats. Make sure there's no stray lines or anything like that. And the book will cover the rest. It's really not that much arm I wanted to show. Because then I wanted to kind of have a bit of the hand, if I can get this to go. Just making sure can't see through the kitty. There we go. And then I could kind of put like an indentation of like where his hand is as if he's about to turn the page. So let me do that right there. Make sure I got the brush. I'm just going to do like an indication of his hand here. And I'm going to put that, I guess that'll be alright right there. Let's see. And we'll put like that there. Switch this to white and do one more layer, and then I'm just going to fill this in with white. There we go. A little too much. I don't know if that takes away. Let's see, because the cat's pretty furry. Put a little bit more fur over the hand here. I figure he's got to have some way of turning the page. We'll just kind of have some fur on the hand. Add a little bit more white in the eyes here. Now, one of the other ideas that I had was that it would be like Tony Stark, and he's like using his hand as like a light. And maybe I'll do that one another time. I don't know. We'll see. I get all these ideas and only get to act on maybe a handful. There we go. And I'll make, I'll make the book a little bit thicker so we can see it a little bit better on the side. There we go. Just to make it stand out a little bit. And then I'll put like a little shadow underneath where the cat is. Let's see, we'll put a little bit here, maybe a little bit of fur. And I think that'll do it. And we'll just kind of and the book is kind of covering that. Let's see. All right. Let's make the lines a little bit thicker in the book. There we go. I think that'll do it. Okay. So let me make a copy of this. So this will be my line art for when I transfer it onto the t-shirt. I'm going to do two shirts. One I'm going to do with infusible ink. Let me go back to gallery. I'm going to do one with infusible ink, and so I'll need it to transfer onto the shirt. So I'm going to select and duplicate, and then the other one I'm going to outright color. Okay, and then I'll rename it. Oh, All right, there we go. So if you guys are watching, if you can't hear me over the music, let me know, and then I'll turn it off. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so let me show you my source image here. See, I got it open. Okay, so I was going to do him in this kind of pose right here, and the cat was going to be kind of like over the shoulder here, and then Blackie would be over here, and but I just kind of condensed it to just like this portion of the body. Okay, and then yeah, this kind of gave me the idea for making the book kind of light up, so it was a thought. But when I was looking at him, I'm like, well, what would it be like if I had like the little symbol, like that heart light thing, be like lighting up the book, and then like cat number one over the shoulder is looking at it, and then I saw this picture of Iron Man, and I'm like, oh wow, well this could be like a little light, you know, before he blasts you with his whatever, you know. Yeah, I mean, he uses it to like fly. But anyway, this is the suit that I'll be using as or this is the version of the suit I'm supposed to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring. It's basically gold and red, and I'll just kind of show you my coloring technique here. Okay. So instead of sampling directly from the image, I'm going to just kind of figure it out myself. So it's gold is kind of, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for my own edification. And I think what I'll do is I'll do it like I do when I color. Oh, I'm gonna have to merge everything real quick. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's see. We'll do it, I think. Do I still want to keep? I guess I can get away with that. Okay, I'm going to merge everything together. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it into a, what is that called? Multiply layer. That way I can color underneath. Okay, first layer is going to be for the reds. And then I've got my color fill. And I'm going to use like an in-between red. Let's see. We'll have about somewhere between light and dark, so like a mid-range red. Okay, there we go. That's not a bad red. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the color fill, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the areas that are going to be getting that red. And what this will also do is kind of mask off some areas here. It's kind of like doing the flats. And I think for Blackie, I think Blackie's going to get, we'll have it be like a really deep dark red suit, if not outright black. Black and shiny cat. There we go. And I'm just going to keep repeating that. Let's see. And this is how I would apply textures. Let's go ahead and mask everything that's supposed to be red. It's a really quick way of just filling in color. And it's the selection tool. Let's see, only the shoulder is red. Let's see, the arms are gold. Let's see, this is going to be red. And I think what I'll do is I'll do what the this picture right here for the digital. I'm going to make the book look like this, like I think it's called a tesseract. Yeah, tesseract. And outline it like in this light color, and then have the center of it be like this bright color. That way it'll kind of like offset the red in the suit here. Gotta get my suit back here. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to the chest. And I've been watching a lot of episodes of sorry about that. Man, it wiped out my color completely. That's not even the red mid-range red. We'll move you back up here. We'll keep it there. That way I can go dark and light if I need to. I'm sorry. I was watching... Oh, God, it did it again. God, dandruff. Okay, let's see. There we go. Alright, add. Been watching a lot of Ink Master episodes. And one of the things they like to hammer in is use a lot of black. Use a lot of black. Punch that black in. And they have some points, really good points on all that. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to try to use a little bit more black in my work, but I'm going to use it in a certain way. Instead of it, oops, I'm going to have to do the invert it. Oh, wrong. Deselect that. Okay. That's what I was trying to avoid. But let me see. I can always, oh, come on, man. It's going to make me do it all over again. There we go. God, dandruff. Alright. Okay, so what I was going to do, let me deselect and not lose everything. There we go. Put that back to, we'll make it like a light blue. Let's see. Maybe right there. Okay, and then I'll come around it and add white and stuff like that. And let's see. Okay, back to this layer. This is all red. And I believe his fingertips are red. Okay, and to move this stuff off of places where I don't want it, I'm using the liquify tool. I'm just going to kind of push it. And I like to thank Dave. Come on, Kim. Think as you color. Think as you color. I cannot remember his last name. I apologize. I can't think and color at the same time. I can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, but I can't think and color. And watch, I'll remember just as probably like at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was Dave blah blah blah. But yeah, he's got his own YouTube channel, real specific, Kim. Let me see. It's gonna bother me until I figure it out. Let's see. And his name is so damn simple. There's no reason for me to forget it. Okay. So while my YouTube is popping up, I can tell you right off the bat, it was Dave Shapiro. No. Let's see. Reed, R-E-E-D, like Reed Richards. Okay, there we go. I need associations. Dave Reed almost changed my religion, or at least gave me a new uh, way of coloring, which was basically the nudge method. Never thought to try this when it comes to like getting things right to the edge. Now they don't overlap, but it does move the color. So like these little areas right here, I can't fill that in with just moving it, but I could nudge it, you know, but I still have that. So I just may as well just come back to it and just hit it with a little bitsy bit here. Bitsy bit. But like right here, I can nudge. It's just liquefy, and it's on the push. And if you want to just push a little bit, you just move it that way. Want to push a lot, you just change that slider. Very good tool. And for those things that just don't want to participate, you just hit it with your tool. Or you can do it like this. Now, I'm going to be using black, but I'm also going to be using other colors, like not primary colors, but the complementary colors, as an alternative to black. So like if I want to make a darker red, I'd probably use like a brown or a green. Especially when I'm going to be coloring this traditionally. So for those of you who want to color on t-shirts, stay tuned, because I'll be doing a video where I'm doing the same image, but I'm going to be doing it onto a t-shirt, hand coloring it. And because I want it to really just last for her, I might end up using a little bit of fabric paint along with my fabric markers. It just depends on how well my markers get as rich as I want them to. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. Okay. See, this almost makes flatting fun. Oops, let me do this. Okay, so since I've got all this colored red, I'm gonna... Okay, once I deselect, I can see all the spots that I've missed. And I'll just kind of circle them. Or I could come back through with a... and then hit add. There we go. Or come back through with a my pen. Let's see. Okay, so this part right here is going to be silver. This part here is going to be gold. Gold. And this is red. So I think I'm going to be putting these on different layers. That way I can just affect my reds separately. There we go. Oops. Still set on that. I'm gonna leave it on that and just kind of... And the brush I'm using is the syrup brush. I love this brush. Oops. Unsteady paw. We just do this. And then hit add. Oops. You do a straight line. There we go. It's looking good. Alright. This part of his armored suit is all red. And I think this will be red too. And for anything that's like hanging on the outside there, all I have to do is just, like I said, liquefy. And I'll make it a little bit bigger so I can get more of an area. Just pushing it into the lines. There we go. Okay, and then for that. And doing the lasso tool to rope in or lasso in your stuff, I think it kind of saves on the wear and tear of your stylus. Now the ways that I'm going to get this onto a shirt, I've got a couple of methods. One way is I could print it out and then I can trace it onto a shirt. I can bring it into Procreate. Not Procreate, I'm sorry, this is Procreate. Bring it into Cricut, my Cricut machine, and let it do the outlines for me, and then color it by hand. Or I can, if I print this out, because it's going to be large, it can only do a certain size. If I print it out from my computer, it's very restrictive. But if I do a few tricks, I can get it a little bit larger to at least 8.5 by 11. Okay, so that's all the red, I believe. Let's see, I think part of that is black. Like where yeah, this is like kind of like a silver in this area. Okay, so on the next layer, we'll make this silverish type stuff. Excuse me. So we'll just kind of make it like a gray, a blue gray. About maybe right there is cool. We'll just kind of mask this in. Okay, that's already colored. And then right here, okay, let's see, that part is red, this part is black. Okay, oops. So like right here, do I want to make that black? Okay, so there's part of his neck is red. And then, let's see. And then it kind of fades off into the black there. In between the suit here. Let's say that it's kind of black. kind of shape it a little bit. Kind of give it a little bit of shadow there. Make some of these darker areas even darker. The cat's going to cast a shadow, so let's do this. This will be my linear burn layer. This is something I learned from White Manga, his YouTube channel. You want to get a linear burn layer, drop it to about 15 to 30 opacity, and it gives you really good shading. So this layer will be where the cat's casting a bit of a shade on the arm there. We'll say the book will cast a little bit of a shadow, and it just kind of gives you those really nice shadows, flat shading. It's also good for doing highlights too. Let's see, we're going to cast a shadow on the book and just give it a little bit more depth to the hand so it doesn't look so two-dimensional. Book will cast a bit of a shadow. And just kind of lasso in those areas that I think are going to be dark. See, we'll have it be kind of dark beneath here. And then I'll also create an add layer. And this is the opposite of basically the what is that called? The linear burn layer. So any place where we think it's going to be light, you can just kind of do this. Cast a little bit of a highlight, and you can make it as intense as you want. Just drop it down a little bit, you know, for hard lights and, you know, as little transitions of sorts. This one I'm going to kind of soften the light a little bit by creating that and then using the smudge tool set on soft brush, and I'm going to just kind of soften the edge. Same thing here. Just kind of, because it's kind of like a curved space. Bring that more over. Okay. I think we'll light up this right here too, but what color does it light up? Was it blue? I thought it was blue. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah. It's white with this blue edge to it. Okay, one of the tricks I want to do on this, let's see, we'll do another layer. I can only do, I think, 6 layers on here, so I'll probably be merging layers and whatnot here and there. Okay, so this layer right here, I'm going to turn into a clipping mask, and it's only going to hit whatever's on layer 4. I'm going to use my, what's it called? Light pen or light brush. I'm going to maybe set this to like a blue tone. And then I'm going to, oh, wrong brush. It didn't take, sometimes you just got to make sure that it lights up blue. Make it big. And you see how the brush has that little halo effect around it? That's what's supposed to happen here. Now this is only going to stay inside of this area. If I want to take the halo effect a little bit deeper, I have to go outside this, or take that off, one or the other. Yeah, we'll take the clipping mask off. We'll make this a little bit bigger. That way it kind of bleeds out. There we go. And the more you tap it, the less blue it gets. So like, if I go all balls out like that, I kind of lose my blue. Let me bring it in a little bit. Because I kind of liked it when it had the blue tinge. Let's see, here we go. And then we'll use a different brush for the blue tinge. Let's see if the light pen will do it for us. Not really. Let's try this. We'll come back to the soft brush and we'll just kind of put the blue in for it. We'll make it a little darker. Just kind of have it do its thing. Now, according to my source image, all this is blue and then the rest is white. So let's see if we can make that. I've got the brush way down here for the opacity, so I have to keep tapping it to make it brighter. And you got to remember, everything that catches that light will have like a little bit of light on it. And then anything that is retreating from the light will get a little bit of darkness. So let's see. We'll put a little bit of dark here. We'll use the brush here. And then we'll kind of feather it. So it's kind of like a gradual change here. Kitty will get a little bit of light on the side there, and we'll have harder shadows. Let's see if we can get on that linear burn layer again. Yeah, and I'm going to bring that up higher. There we go. So I can affect more layers with it. And I got the opacity really low, so I have to build up those shadows. I can't just come on out with the... There we go. Okay, and also this here is opaque too, so I could even go a little bit higher, but Kitty will never be precisely black. This is Tommy, I think that's what she calls it. So if I want to get this a little darker, I'm going to have to go with one more layer. And then I'll bring it down a little bit, so I can have more control. And this is all supposed to be black anyway, so let me get out of this. Not like that. Let's have some more control. Okay. We'll use the short hair brush, and then we'll just kind of make it a little bit darker than the other side. And we'll let the book cast a little bit of light too. So if I do the book, let's see, I'm going to merge some of these layers together. Let's see, but first let me do the red. Get the red out the way. Let me get rid of these guys. We'll stick those guys together. Okay. All right. Oh, I lost something here. There we go. So this will need to go above. Can't go too far up. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. There we go. And let me see. I'm not going to merge that with the. We'll leave the highlights. Oh, my highlights disappeared because they're below. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this red going. I only hit 6 layers on this one, I believe. Let me see. Okay, so I can use, let's see, layers used. Okay, so I can get 8 layers max on here. So I have to be very conscientious of what I'm doing. Okay. Da, 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 da. All right, so I'm going to make another shadow layer. This will be like a deeper, darker red, and it'll be a clipping mask of that. So it won't go outside anything that's not red on this layer. Let's see, so we'll use that color red, and we'll hit everything that's dark, which will be, I want to say, the midway here. So use the, we don't want to make them furry. I wonder, okay, wherever the cat is sitting, this is going to be darker here. I'll bring it up a little bit. We'll put a little bit here. And as metal bends, it'll be darker. Oh, so like where the light hits, it'll be bright, and the further away that you get it, the darker the shadow will be. But it'll also lighten up. For reasons. Okay, so everything going in this direction, we'll say we'll catch a little bit of light down there. Let's see, going away from that light. And underneath, got to keep in mind what's sticking out. This is all going to be dark, unless I've used the book as a light source as well. Okay. So when you have a light, there will be a corresponding shadow. So if I have a highlight, let's see, we'll do another clipping mask. If I have a light, and we'll make this like a brighter red, maybe even orange. Let's see, reddish orange. We'll say like that. There we go. Or it's kind of making it a little bit brighter. But it's not so hot that it's changing the red completely. We might see it like around the seams. Just wherever this thing seems to bend. Away from the light. Let's see, let's come back to that other layer. Like it's dark, but not that dark. So like the kitty cat maybe is casting a shadow here, and that could even be that orange too. Okay. And that just kind of lights him up a bit more. Let's see. And again, the opacity is like in the middle here. So you don't want it to be, you want it to be kind of subtle. Or at least I want it to be kind of subtle. Okay, now I want that dark tone. I can use, you can have these guys come together. Let's see. What other color do I want? Let's see, I want to try it with green and see what kind of change I get as well. Now instead of using black, and I have it low, it's another alternative way of doing shadows. It's a contrast to the red. But the thing about the green on here, I think it makes it look more, what's the word? It makes the red brighter instead of doing what I wanted to do. So let's try brown. Brown will make the red darker without it being actually black. And I'm going over that green part there. I don't want to do that to that. Just keep that illusion of roundness. And always think round, things that are curving. And I can even get a little bit brighter around the edges here too. Let's see. Da, 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 da. I'm using a little bit of white. I'm just going to tap these a little bit. Just around the very edges. Almost as if his suit's picking up the white around him. Kind of, I don't think I think it kind of dulls it up a little bit. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's use this. Anything where it's kind of like a bit of a shadow or an indentation. If it looks like it's going to bend, think about where it's bending away from or to. Go. That's not too bad. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Let me zoom in on the source image real quick. Gotta zoom out. Too close, too close. Okay, so now I need to get on that mask. Whoops. Just trying to move stuff around here. There we go. I'm using my Google Images, Google Docs, Google Presentations for my source image. Okay. Let's see. Now I think I want to give it more of a deep. Let's see. Do I want to go a little bit more metallic-y? I'm trying to think. It's not super bright red like what I've got, but then again, I could go. Let me see. We'll look at some pictures of our Iron Man to see how red they go. because she wants a kind of comic booky. Let's see, comic. Okay, let me see. And I'll show you guys what I'm looking at as soon as I get it pulled up. Okay. So I'm looking at Google Images for Iron Man. And I'm trying to decide how red I want him to be. See, like in the movies, it's like a darker red. And then what I've got is like ultra red. And there we go. So I need to go maybe a little darker. That's pretty badass. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So I kind of like how they did the colors here. Got some blacks, got the reds, got a little bit of white, that kind of shadows. And it looks like the shadows are a lot harder and less soft than what I've got. Okay, all right. So we'll do kind of like a mixture of hard and soft. I like this transition right here. I wonder, you know, there is a texture type of thing that's here. It's under halftone, and I think it is screen print. Let me see. I've never used it before. Oh, no. We're not gonna go that hardcore. Let's see, that's newspaper. That does not suck. I kind of like that. Let's see. And then this is full color. So it kind of gives you that vintage look to it. Let's back it up a little bit. Okay, let me get off of that. But I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, but not today. Not today. Let's try something else. Textures. I've got a metallic brush or industrial, and I'm wondering if I can make any of these work for us, because I've rarely ever used these. Now this is more for like buildings and stuff. Let me try this brush metal and see what it gives me. I'm going to put it in the shadows. Let's see, make sure this is a soft, okay, make sure it's soft. Let's see. I don't really see too much of a difference between that and my other brush. Now there are indentations that are supposed to be here too. Give me a second. We'll get rid of some of my lines here, my line work. We'll just kind of blend it in. Wait, nobody wants to see how scratchy lines, Kim? So like right here in his face, I still have some of those scratchy lines. Okay, so I'll take a break from the red and get the mask portion, and then we'll come back and we'll fine-tune stuff. Instead of erasing, I think I'll use some of this. Just this shadow. Nobody is perfect. Let's make sure I'm on the right layer. There we go. I didn't see too much of a difference with my brush metal. Maybe another time. Okay. Let's see. Make sure I get rid of all the stuff around the edges. All right. Okay, so let's see what these indentations are on this suit. Get out of that. Okay, we'll use white. Get my syrup brush back. And we'll hit it. So like here. Whoop. Make sure we're on this layer, because we can't see it on that layer. There we go. And some of these are black lines. So like right here is a line. Just kind of catching the light, I guess. And then I'll just kind of alternate a little bit more. Okay, this comes up at a point and then comes down and goes in. Let's see. I'm going to use the soft brush to catch some of this light. That does not look like a soft brush. That's because it's not. Get a little thinner. Just kind of softening up some of the highlight there. All right. Okay, now they're all together, and when they're together like that, I can get them to kind of blend a little bit more. There we go. So when his thingy lights up, I don't know. Let's do this on this layer. I'm using some of my scratchy lines as like shadow. And some of the lines that are there, I'm also softening them up and using those as well. Just kind of use my smudge tool to kind of blend it all in. And the eraser tool where I can just erase some of the other stuff that I don't need. I'm keeping the lines pretty thick. Just kind of keep that comic book feel to it. Careful where I touch here. And I'm taking up some of the shadows with the lines that are already existing here, and it just gives it more of a gradient. Alrighty. Okay, let's get some of that gold in there. Oh. More lines, more problems. So a little bit of white here like we did where the other light is. We'll say that maybe something from the cat might be casting a highlight here. Bring that back up. Oh. On the wrong layer. Let's see. Let's do it right there. And then we'll just kind of soften that. It's where these hard edges are. And plus it's closer to the light there. And this brush here is the soft brush. I just got it really thin. And then I'm kind of softening it up. And then I'm going to soften it because it's closest to the light. And then I'm going to darken it as I come forward. Take that, bring it down here, and just kind of give it a little edge here. And then I'm going to soften that and get rid of some more of my line here, or use my lines. And I'm just going to shade some of this dark down and around the edges here, so it just kind of blends in with some of this red here. I need a little bit more black. Bring that back up. Straight paw. Okay. I'm going to soften the edge of the black here. Just bringing it up a little bit. Let's see. And since all the red is merged, I can bring that down into the black just a little. Alright. I mean, I'm like super drawn in, but it kind of cleans it up a little bit. Okay, alright, let's do some gold. Now, the gold is like an amalgam of a couple colors. I'd say about like a deep brown, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Don't want to take the whole thing, just want to take this. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is like gray and a weird off yellow-ish to green and brown with bits of red because it's picking up some of the red from the suit. Okay, so we'll have kind of like the yellowish brown, so about in this neck of the range. I would say that's like a olive color or so, and we'll use some of that. But first, I think that's the most dominant color. Yeah, I think that's the most dominant. Okay, let's do this. We'll make its own layer. I'm going to merge these guys together just so I have more room to play. And we'll do the same thing. We'll just go ahead and fill this with that color. And then hit add, and that will fill in the bits. Okay. And again, if I wanted to, I could just go ahead and either just loop in the parts I missed. Or I can just go in with my brush tool and do its own thing. And since it's on its own layer, it's not going to affect everybody else. Oops, I didn't want to get those eyes. Okay. And hit add, and I'm going to add a little bit more. There we go. Let's see it. We'll go ahead and drop. Okay. And it looks like it has some hard layers next to black. So I'm going to hit this with black, but I'll put it on another layer. We'll put it on this one. We'll liquefy some of that side. Okay, and then we'll do a little bit of liquefying here. Oops, I forget. If you move to another layer, you gotta bring back that liquefy tool. It only works for that one layer unless you assign it, you open it up again to another. Okay, all right, let's get some transitions going here. So I want a little bit of the red to peep through. So I'm going to sample a little bit of the red. Whoops. Hold that down until it changes. Gotta get off my tools here. Get off my tools. There it goes. Okay, and then I'm going to drop the opacity just a smidge. And we should be on a soft brush, but I want to give it a texture. We'll use charcoal. And maybe, let's try burnt tree first, just for giggles. And I'm gonna drop that down. Okay, it looks a little bit like blood. Too textured. We'll use one of the other softer ones. Let's try vine charcoal. I've never used these charcoals. I figured today's a good enough day to experiment. Go ahead and use a little bit here. And it's pretty much in this area where you kind of see the red peeping. Oop, I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's what I want to do. So just a little bit of the red peeping. Just enough to pick up some of what's around it. Okay, and then we'll use a little bit of the white. Okay, so we're going to catch a little bit of the white. And we'll use just a regular soft brush. And we'll bring the opacity back up a bit. So anything that's going to catch that light. Oh, because this is a clipping mask, it's only going to stay where the gold is. So I got to keep that in mind. But I got to remember to come back. We'll hit a little bit on this side. The eyes are going to light up. Not that much. Just enough. And this one definitely has like a smoother transition. Okay, so now I have to smudge. I'm gonna keep some of the highlights hard, and then some of them just kind of diffuse them into the colors there. Do more of a contour. And I might take out some of that black so it's not so harsh. So like so it's more of a contour instead of a hard, fast line. There we go. It's still there, but it's just a little bit fainter. See, we'll keep the others. Okay, and then because there's a lights here, we have to have a corresponding dark. So let's do one more layer. We'll do a linear burn. Again, drop it down to about 30. Make it black. Or brown. How about brown? Because we're playing with gold here. Or a goldish tone. And I want it to kind of disperse a little bit like that. Let's see. So we got a corresponding shadow to our highlights. And I want to brighten it up a little bit, so I'm going to take this tone and just kind of move it off to the yellow a little bit. Just kind of warm it up a bit. Well, I warmed up a little much, but let's see. Let's bring it up higher. Oh, because I'm on the linear burn layer. That's why it's doing that. Totally forgot. Let's see. We'll put it on this layer. It's not a bad effect, though. And we'll put it closer to the highlight. There we go. And it gives it like a richer tone. And if I merge all these guys together, let's see, I'll bring you here. And then I can blend them a little bit more for subtlety. And we'll give it a little bit more white. And then we'll blend that in a little bit. All right. And maybe a little bit more brown. Let's see. And just to give it more of a curve. That's not brown. That not brown either. Why you not take it? Take my brown, damn it. Okay. There we go. I guess it says, the computer says no. Just want to give it just a deeper, darker tone here. And then just kind of blend it in. Like it's meant to be there. Not like a coffee stain or nothing. So as we get closer to where it gets dark, I'm going to go ahead and bring it a little bit down here with the brown. Just kind of be a rim of sorts. Now let's kind of smudge it in. There we go. Very subtle, very subtle. We'll draw out some of that white too for the white highlight in the eyes. Now, what color are his eyes? Helmet eyes. I guess they're white. Let me see if I can find the cartoon version. And it looks like he gives off a bit of a red light too. Let's see if we can do a little bit of something with that. We'll put it on its own layer in case I monkey it up. It says, you wouldn't like me if I was angry. All right, so there we go. All right. Now there were certain things on here that are supposed to be gold, and I believe his manceps, his biceps, and these guys right here are supposed to be gray. Okay, so I'm gonna. Did it work? Let's see. Ooh, let's go softer. Let's see. Let's try using the light brush and see if that'll work for me. So the more you use it, the lighter it gets. Well, after a hard night of flying about, doing your own thing, maybe just get a... I don't know if I like that. Let's soften it. I don't like that either. I like that though. Let's see. Let's clear it. Let's try maybe a darker red. What I really want is just the highlight around it. Like that little glow. Yeah, I thought I was erasing. Just a bit of the glow. And we'll make it smaller. Ain't no working, Kim. Ain't no working. I don't know. Let's give it... Let's see. Let me find an Iron Man all lit up like a Christmas tree. Maybe I can find... Is it subtle? Let's see. I'm looking at this guy right here. So maybe a little gentler. Let's see. White around... I could go blue like this. Try to decide. I'll just leave it like it is. And then just kind of use a soft brush. And just kind of... Oops, wrong brush. I guess this is how you can tell if Iron Man had a hangover or something. It's all like red rimmed. It's like, bro, you need some sleep. Okay, alright. We'll use an add layer here. There we go. It really brighten him up a little bit. Get his iron coffee. Whoops. Prison tattoo. sure it's bigger. I think the cat should have the glowing eyes. Oh shoot, you know, I am playing like I ain't got no place to go, nothing to do. I gotta get to go into work. Let me bring this down in opacity. We'll play with it tomorrow. But for you, those of you who are just joining me, here's where we are so far. I still got to color the cat, the biceps, and the book. But I think tomorrow I'll be starting on the shirt and putting that on camera so you guys can see my process from beginning to end on how I'm going to get this to, well, at least some of the process, and I'll explain some of it. So for those of you who are just joining, here is a time-lapse replay of how I got to this point here for this particular t-shirt design. And you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you see, like, subscribe. That way you can catch the next video. I usually go live around oh god, some ungodly hour, between 3 and 5, because that's the only time I really get on my computer and have some fun like this. Otherwise, you'll be catching just regular time-lapse replays like this. I'm on Instagram under pinkneykimberly, and I am on Facebook under Kim Pinkney. And if you are interested in any kind of merchandise or a t-shirt commission of your own, and what's cool about me is that you can see it being created, put to very bad music, and horribly drawn by me. But yeah, right now I'm on a superhero kick, doing a challenge, the artist challenge, which is basically you draw 10 days, and then you either draw or show us your workspace, and then nominate 10 people. I don't know how that workspace thing works, but so far not too bad. And I'm specifically doing superheroes because the person that nominated me for this pointed in my direction, and he loves superheroes, particularly DC superheroes. But every now and then I go off the rails and do a little Marvel. Love Marvel. But I adore my best friend, so I'm making sure that I try to give a little bit of dignity to these characters. Not much, just a little. And so far, my client is liking what I have been producing so far, so hopefully the shirts will come out just as ducky. Now I'm like I said, I'm doing two different versions. One is going to have this colored version, and that'll be basically printed out from my computer and put onto a vinyl transfer. The second one is going to be the outline of this, and I'll be using my everything under the sun that I've got for t-shirts. The fabric markers, fabric paints, yeah, pretty much those, fabric markers and fabric paints, to try to get the effects that I want. So we've got Iron Kitty, and I'm thinking about making Kitty black, like with a black with like a gold motif, because the cat is called Blackie, and he's already passed away. So Blackie's going to be like an alternate suit. Well, maybe I'll make him red. I'll ask her if she's which one she'd like the best. Cool thing about doing this digitally is I can do two versions. So, haha, there's that. I got to remember to get that hand right in front of the book too. So what I have so far, I'll go ahead and see if I get some input from my client and see what color she'd like her book to be. Now this picture that you see right here, I'm going to make it a good size across the chest, almost like about the size of a Superman symbol. So we'll be able to read her name and see some of the details pretty clearly. So I'm probably going to come back through and clean up a lot of my lines and maybe add some more effects on here. Hopefully they'll transfer over with my the printer that I've got here. But we're almost there, almost there. You guys, again, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I see you in the next video. And usually I do a Throwback Thursday, but today I'm throwing down a little bit of this Iron Man Jasmabab. Okay, and there we are. You guys have a great one, and take care. Bye-bye.